Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Bryndís, and today we are gonna look through my bookshelves. I'm gonna rearrange them, and at the end they're gonna look beautiful like this, and I'm gonna take you with me. I don't know if I'm actually gonna be talking a lot in the next few clips, but over the it's been quite a few weeks. I've been rearranging my bookshelves and really thinking of how I want to present my books, my book collection, and really wanting also to curate it and make it be something that is really bringing me joy and peace and bringing calmness and just coziness into my apartment. That's kind of my vibe for my apartment. I have beautiful green walls, my tech bookshelves, and natural colors and stuff like that is kind of what I'm going for. And yeah, what you see behind me is the end results. But now let's roll the tape of from the last few weeks as I was very slowly organizing, fixing, and doing all the things.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. 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 I watch you as you sleep. You don't know I'm looking. With you everything's complete. Do you know how much I love you? I put your favorite song on just to wake you up. When I dance around, I can't help but feeling, I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. 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 I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment.
Here we have my physical TBR, the bookshelves from a physical TBR. And this is a new addition to my apartment because, you know, I keep buying books. And yeah, so these are almost not all of my unread physical copies, but majority of them. And I have them categorized by classics, by fantasy, sci-fi, and then just by other. And then I have like my non-fiction unread books on a different bookshelf. But yeah, so I'm gonna show you a little bit up close. I'm gonna try to do this without it being too kind of wobbly. But on this side of the shelf, so these are basically two short Billy bookcases that I have here. And in one of them, I have my classics, my physical TBR, classical literature, classics and modern classics. I'm not going to go through every book. I think that's just going to be way too much. But there are some Dickens, Dostoevsky, George Eliot, Elizabeth Gaskell, James Joyce, Tolstoy, and a lot of other very famous classical authors that I really do look forward to getting to at some point. So about half of the books that I haven't read that I own are classics. And that kind of fits well with the fact that about half of the books that I read in general are classics. I do read quite a lot of classics. Yeah, I know. And then on this side of my shelves, I have mostly these two shelves. We have fantasy and sci-fi on the top one, and also like different types of fiction, like historical fiction, literary fiction, mystery thriller type of fiction and stuff like that. And it kind of goes down to the third shelf. So that's those are those. I mean, I don't really categorize them very carefully. It's like I said, it's different type, but mostly by modern authors. Some of them, like The Name of the Rose, it maybe it is considered to be modern classics. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. So this would be my kind of all sorts of temporary contemporary fiction. But here we have my fantasy and some sci-fi, mostly fantasy. I have a couple of books in the back there, but they are basically City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. But I haven't decided if I like her. I haven't decided what edition of books I may want to keep or buy if I want to get a different edition. So I just found them at a charity shop and I just kind of grabbed them without really thinking it through. But yeah, so here I have quite a lot of some Cassandra Clare, John Gwynne. I have here the All Saints, a couple of books from the All Saints series. That's what it's called, right? And yeah, Terry Pratchett. I found these books at a charity shop the other day. The Amber Spyglass, I think it's called. It's the I can't remember the series name. And then I have some Sanderson here, of course. And there's also here like an mythological retelling. So I don't know if it necessarily should be categorized with fantasy, but I didn't know where else to put it. So those are these books that I have not read yet. I am very happy that I decided to go ahead and get new bookshelves for my physical TBR, because I think that it just helps me to keep them in mind, but also keeps them separate from what I've already read and what I kind of consider more to be my collection. So because these I may not keep all of these books because I don't know if I'm actually going to like them, and I'm trying to remember my rule of keeping books in my book collection on my bookshelves, on my main bookshelves, books that I really enjoyed, that I gave 5 stars, the occasional 4 stars, and not just keep books just to keep them, simply because I don't have a lot of room. But I really like how it kind of looks here in my bedroom, and makes everything more cozy and comfy and warm, I feel like. Books just do that for me, at least. And here I have these bookshelves that are kind of my special edition bookshelves. So these are, I don't have a lot of special editions, as you can see, and I don't necessarily need or want to have a lot of them. But here I have books that are just old and just very looking really exceptionally beautiful, in my opinion. I really like the look of old books. So I'm made a little vignette here in my living room with these kind of really beautiful books. So here's a little bit of a closer look. This is a novel, one of the first Icelandic novels ever written at some point in the 18th century. Here I have an edition of Anna Karenina, I think part 2. These are some old Icelandic folk tales, a novel by one of my favorite poets. Here I have some Icelandic sagas in a very old edition that is was printed in 1896, one of my oldest books. Also here is a very old book as well, poetry by an Icelandic poet. Here I have Winter the Willows. I have the works of Maupassant. I think it was mostly short stories. The American Notes by Charles Dickens and his Mander Humphreys clock as well, and then the Life of Dickens as well. And then we have here Shelley and Silas Marner by George Eliot. And then on the other side, I have my little edition of Jane Austen's major works. And so this is kind of my little bit of a curated display of my really kind of precious, beautiful books. The last shelf that I want to show you before I show you my main ones is my fantasy shelf. And it is, as you can see, not very full. I will show you a better overview later on. Actually, I have here also in the bottom shelf some mythology. And then we have the Brandon Sanderson books that I have read and some other fantasy books that I have read. And then in the next two shelves, or the shelf on the top of the bookcase, I have my Tolkien collection. And then up there I have my Tolkien map. But a lot of the fantasy that I have read, I read most of my fantasy through audiobooks, and I simply don't own the copies. So I have read a lot more. Like, I could easily fill a couple of shelves like this. This is also the Billy bookcase. I just don't own like physical copies. But this is what I own so far. These two, these three shelves there, basically. And now here is my main bookshelf. I cannot get it all into the shot, but yeah. So this is the main bookshelf. It goes way down to the floor there, and all the way up here. Like that. So it's quite tall. It's up to the ceiling, obviously, and yeah. I am loving it so much. I think it's just. So these are books that I've read for the most part. I'm gonna go through very quickly through every shelf. Not gonna show you every book, but just very quickly. And there are a few books in there that I haven't read, but I wanted to keep on this shelf. But yeah, this is just, I have this view every day when I come into my living room, and it's just, it just brings me so much joy. And I really love, for the most part, how I've kind of decorated it and made it like completely and totally in my own style, for the most part at least. But let me show you the shelves. So if we start at the top, the two top shelves on the side here are Icelandic crime books, as well as where is my finger? This top here. So I have three basically full shelves with my 5 favorite Icelandic crime, thriller, Nordic noir, mystery writers. And I will put on a screen their names. So those are the ones. I'm not collecting every book by all of them, but I like, usually they will have some sort of a series with like a detective and, who's solving crime and whatever. And I usually like to collect those series by them. But yeah, I'm very happy to have these books. These are all hardcovers, because for the most part I have paperbacks, but these are all hardcovers and I'm extremely fond of them. Here we have my Stephen King collection. I decided to keep it all together, so I have not read all of these books. I have read Carrie and The Shining, Salem's Lot, The Long Walk, Firestarter, and then a couple of books that I don't own that I've also read. But I have not read The Stand, I have not read Cujo, It, or the Gunslinger or the Dark Tower series. And then the one in Icelandic there is the Firestarter that I also own in hardcover in the Icelandic translation. But yes, so I decided to have my Stephen King collection on one shelf. I am slowly working my way through his works. I'm still in the first decade. I've decided to do it decade by decade, so I'm still reading books that he published from 1974 to 1983. And I'm quite far along in that decade, but he published a lot of books in every year, every decade. So it's a lot. He has a huge catalog. But here you have my Stephen King collection. On these two shelves, we have the classics, my physical collection of classics that I have read. I will say that I have read probably double, if not triple, the amount of these books. I just don't own all of them in physical, like as a physical copy, because I do a lot of audiobooks and I haven't gotten around to buying all the books that I really enjoyed. Plus, as I think I may have mentioned before, I don't buy all the books I've read. I don't want to own all the books I've read. I just want to own the books that I really enjoyed and that I would have given 5 stars or the occasional 4 stars. So again, I'm not going to own all the books that I've read, but these are my classics. And so we have here Jane Austen, obviously. We have the Brontes, Wilkie Collins, the Sherlock Holmes books, some Elizabeth Gaskell and George Eliot. I have Les Miserables in the Icelandic translation. It was published in like these 4 volumes. And then I have War and Peace, which I read last summer, and also the Icelandic translation of that in the 4 volumes. And then here, next to the Thinker, I have a couple of new books by Jane Austen and Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte in different editions from what I have. And I just saw them at the thrift store and I just got them. I don't know if my niece or my sister don't own these books, maybe I'll give them to them, or maybe I want to own Jane Austen in different editions. I haven't quite decided. Jane Eyre is a book, one of my favorite books of all time, so I might want to collect that one in different editions. I haven't 100% decided, so I'm just keeping them there just for the time being. But yeah, so these are this is not. I don't think that this is quite a lot of books to own in the classics category. And I know that there are so many books that I want to buy that I've listened to as audiobooks and really enjoyed, or that I read before, like from the library or whatever. So this collection is going to grow, as well as obviously as I read my physical TBR. But yeah, so this is my classics. And then here below the classics on this shelf here, we have kind of a contemporary books. So there are historical fiction, there are just today fiction. What is it called? Modern day fiction. Sorry, just normal like literary fiction. Sorry about that. There's some like magical realism, historical fiction, Greek mythological retellings. Oh my goodness. And yeah, all sorts of books that I have over around here. And again, I've read tens and tens of more books than you can see here. I just don't own all of the copies of the books that I really enjoyed, don't have them at the moment. But here are some really good ones. Obviously, Piranesi, A Man Called Uwe, The Other Bennett Sister, Eleanor Oliphant is perfectly fine, Burial Rites, the Wolf trilogy, Circe and the Song of Achilles. I mean, there's so many. These are all books that I just absolutely loved. I'm gonna go back to the other side of the shelves below my Stephen King. I have here kind of a mixture of different things. So I have here 2 Icelandic sagas that I want to read at some point. And then here I have some Halldór Laxness. 2 of these actually belong to my parents, but 2 of these are my own that I bought. And because I think I think eventually I will probably get my parents' collection, or at least part of it. But there are a few books that I just wanted to own immediately. And this is also a beautiful edition of Gone with the Wind. I haven't read those books. I've seen the movie, but I haven't read the books. But I wanted them to be here, even though I haven't read them. And then here also we have some nonfiction. We have Utopia, A Vindication of the Rights of Women by Mary Wollstonecraft, Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal and Other Writings. I have read the A Modest Proposal, and I wrote my bachelor thesis on it back in the day. Here we have some true crime type of a thing. The Pillow Book, Plato, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Notes on Grief is really good. And then I have here 2 books that are children's books that are just nostalgic for me, and books that I loved as a child. And of course my David here trying to protect them. Yeah, so that's my kind of miscellaneous shelf. Here we have 2 of my favorite shelves, my Agatha Christie collection. If you've been following me, you know that I've gone a little bit mad in regards to Agatha Christie. So here on the lower shelf, I have my Poirot books, and also the Mousetrap play, as you can see. And I have a couple of books in the Icelandic translation. Above here, this is my Miss Marple collection. I definitely need to get more books from with Miss Marple. And then here are just miscellaneous books. I have some of the books in several editions, and yeah, I'm a little bit mad for Agatha Christie, but this shelf gives me so much joy. I love it very much. There are still books from her that I don't own, and I think I need to start to make a list of what the books are that I don't own that she's written, and try to kind of complete the collection. But also it's just really fun to find books by her at a charity shop, and it's a mystery. Do I own it or do I not own it? But I buy it anyway, because I buy everything of her that I see in a charity shop or a thrift store. So yeah, I'm loving that. And now for the last few shelves. Here we have my biographies, and I have not read all of them. I've read a couple, but we have Jane Austen, we have some Icelandic old dudes, we have Agatha Christie by Lucy Worsley. I have Alison Weir's book on Eleanor of Aquitaine, who is one of my most favorite historical women. I have The Diary of Anne Frank, and the other are just some Icelandic authors or poets. And the last one here on the end is Snorri Sturluson, who is if you know the Poetic Edda, the Prose Edda, he's a guy that wrote those. It's a little bit tilted, isn't it? Anyway, I don't think I can move you without, okay, sorry. And then on this side, here, mostly poetry. It's Shakespeare there, obviously plays and poetry. I have some poetry by Halldór Laxness. And it's a mixture of Icelandic and mostly, I think, English poets. So there is Keats or Irish. There is Keats and Yeats, and some. I think there is Paradise Lost, and then there is some Icelandic poetry. And then on my bottom shelf, I have short stories, poetry, Icelandic folk music, dictionaries, genealogical books, 1001 Night, so all sorts of different type of books like that. And then in my little magazine holder here, I have some art books, Van Gogh mostly, and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that this is probably as close as I'm gonna get to give you a proper overview. It's a very small apartment, and I'm now at the way back at the other side. And basically this is as good as it's gonna get. But you can basically see my entire bookshelves from here. Doesn't it look good? Isn't it lovely? It's so lovely. So there you have it, my bookshelves. I feel really happy about them. They are, things are a little bit more calm and kind of collected. And I feel that is really helping me as well to be more calm, because, I think life is hectic, life gets busy for all of us. So it's really good to come home after a long day or wake up before a long day and just look at my books and just feel like peace and quiet and just loveliness. So I'm very happy with how they have turned out. And I hope you enjoyed. It was fun to do for sure, even though it took a very long time. But I'm very happy with the end result, as I think I've said several times already. So I think I'm just gonna end the video now. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.